And based on my PhD data, I produced a second book called Drug Speak. On the basis of that,
so the great John Booth Davies. I'll just repeat the name for those people that have not read him. So yes,
and he does seem to be something of a forgotten figure now, and he really shouldn't be, because a lot of his work is genuinely insightful and inspirational. Anyway, that work, the 2 years I spent working with him on a Scottish Home and Health grant, effectively got me my ticket to relocate to London and work for the National Addiction Centre at the Maudsley Hospital first, and then at the Institute of Psychiatry second, which career-wise was great for me, because I went from being a research coordinator to a lecturer to a senior lecturer within about 4 to 5 years when I was there. And I worked in massive treatment services, and it was fascinating. So I was able to observe at close hand an inpatient detox heroin ward, an inpatient detox alcohol ward, a very large methadone maintenance clinic, an emergency admissions ward, an HIV ward, and so on. Incredible insights. And I was a clinical researcher. And on the back of that, I then spent 2 years as head of research for the National Treatment Agency for Substance Use. And it began to make me realise, in a phrase that wouldn't have been used at that time, but in retrospect, I would think of that as the kind of industrialisation of treatment. So it paid an awful lot of mortgages and generated a lot of career, including mine. And it was far from clear that many people really benefited outside the professionals from what was on offer at that time. For me personally, I was really conscious of the fact, and I'll talk about it even now in presentations, that we most of the staff lived in Dulwich, Sydenham, and further out, Forest Hill in southeast London. Most of the clients came from and lived in Camberwell, Peckham and Brixton, and we had virtually nothing to do with any of those areas. We weren't rooted in them. It was like what we did was want to sprinkle magic dust on people's heads that would inoculate them for the next week or 2 weeks till they came back. It was a very naive and narrow model of what treatment should be around, and it was minimal. People were seen for time at all. It was transactional and minimal.